Welcome back to another episode of the FPL Sheeple Podcast. I can't believe I'm saying this again, but we are back after another long international break. And this one actually felt a bit unnecessary. But nevertheless, we are back in FPL mode once again, and there were quite a bit of managerial changes that may create some interesting dilemmas in the next few weeks of FPL. I'm joined by my co host FPL Donatello. So, Donatello, have you forgotten how to play FPL during this international break?
Hey, absolutely. I mean, 2 weeks without bothering to think about FPL or even thinking about what transfers to make or just football in general makes you forget about everything.
Yeah,
And I don't think these breaks are good for us. It breaks the momentum,
yeah,
You're doing good, and then 2 weeks, nothing, and you have to wait for everything to come back. And I guess this is the last one before next year, like March next year.
yeah.
So I'm guessing since the European qualifiers are done, it's mostly now the South American and the African qualifiers that are left. So and that's not until March. So I'm really excited for this period going on till like December. I guess we have 10 matches in between. Um, from now and till the end of December. So
Yeah,
really excited for that because it's going to be fun, non-stop FPL because we missed the FPL so much during the international break. It's kind of made up by the upcoming 10 matches. So really excited for that.
yeah. Me too. It'll be like one episode almost every 4 days, so it'll be a nice grind for us
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
if there's a match on Sunday and then Wednesday and then again Sunday, then we are probably recording every 2 3 days, as you said. So,
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
should be good for our listeners, and yeah, we'll have to also be on top of things. But I think that's much better because today, while preparing for this episode, I sort of had to take a while to remember what actually happened in game week 11 and what were the main takeaways, and just to look back at a few of our episodes, last couple of episodes, to remind myself uh, you
yeah,
know what we had said
yeah.
and where
I
we are
didn't even
going.
I didn't even know what were the matches
Yeah,
for game week 11. I forgot that United City was last game week. I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, but as you said, I'm completely blank with what happened last game week. So
yeah, exactly, and that's why the really apt title of our episode is that just wake us up when the international break ends. And so now we are finally awake, and now we are ready to go for the next whatever 10 game
yeah,
weeks
one
that are
last
coming in a row. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so one last thing about international breaks would be a big international break coming in the next year's FPL, which will be for the World Cup, where
Oh
there's going to
yeah,
be nothing for 2 months. So that will be a fun thing, I think.
yeah, but it looks like we I think it was you who told me that the schedule is going to still remain between August and May, and so they're going to probably we're going to squeeze many games together, and again we are probably going to have like a December like schedule, but throughout the year next season for our episodes, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So it will be like a crammed up schedule sometime in either at the start of the year or at the end of the year. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. So it should be interesting. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into this week's episode. All right. So we begin by typically reviewing the teams for the 20 content creators who we follow on this podcast. So we are following these 20 really top FPL accounts who have been playing FPL for many years, and they have been performing really well consistently for many years. And so on this podcast we follow 20 of the best, and we try to take a look at what players they're picking, what decisions they're making every week, and then we also focus on uh, uh, one creator every week who has uh, topped the charts for game week points, and then we focus on their picks and player picks for that week to make changes in our own team. So that's the whole concept of our podcast. So right at the beginning, we now review the game week 11 team from the 20 content creators, and here we have the template team, which is essentially the most commonly picked players from the 20 content creators. So we have Sanchez in goal, who was picked by 9 content creators. Cancelo, Trent, and Chilwell were the three defenders, with Cancelo in 16 teams, Trent in all 20 teams, and Chilwell in 10 teams. So he's sort of 50-50 pick. We have Rafinha in 13 teams, Foden in 13 teams as well, Mbuemo in 15 teams, and Salah, who was in all 20 teams, and also the overwhelming captain choice. In fact, he was the captain choice for all 20 teams. Then you
Mm.
have Ivan Tony in 13 teams, Antonio in 13 teams, and Vardy in 13 teams. Uh, so that's a very strong template for Game Week 11. So um, many players are really common across all these teams, and so there's a really strong template. And I guess um, it wasn't any of these players that really took the top content creators for the week on top, and we'll take a look later in the episode which
Mm.
player picks propelled them to higher points and higher ranks.
Yep.
Apart from that, yeah, looks like I still have 9 out of the 11 players in my team, so I'm
Yeah, I
really
have
template.
7.
Yeah, so I'm really template compared to the content creators, and yeah, it's like 1 or 2 players that I don't have from this template team, which is the sort of style that I'm going for this season anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks good, and yeah, we'll see what we did for this week as well.
Yeah.
uh yeah, then going on to our game week 11 review, starting with my team. So I got 62 points, and i I mean, it was mainly because Cancelo and Trent got the bulk of the points, so we got a lot of points in defense. And so yeah, I mean, 26 points came from there, and otherwise I don't think, I mean, yeah, Rafinha got 9 points, Ramsdale got 7 points,
Mm.
and everyone else almost like blanked. Salah got 5 points as well, so he's my captain. But Salah's points almost don't count because everyone has Salah, so he's not giving us any benefit of sorts.
Yeah, and
Uh,
look at your bench.
yeah, typically, yeah, this is the first time
I'm
I
not
felt.
talking about Foster even. I'm just talking about Livramento and Diaz.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, this is the first time I think I've felt the effect of having such a strong bench, because I have a lot of points on the bench as well. So I had 24 points on the bench, which I feel could have been easily used up in my starting 11. In fact, I feel that if I had started Livramento and Diaz instead of, let's say, Chilwell and Mbuemo, I would have gotten as many points as our top content creator this week.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
definitely.
it was that marginal call of a
Yeah.
difference. My starting 11 was reasonable for what I felt could be a
Mm.
higher score, but it's fine. I mean, in the end, this 62 points gave me an amazing game week rank of 500k. So, and that also increased my rank from 205k to 162k. So that is a good jump in the right
Yeah.
direction finally. So yeah, overall a really good week for me, and yeah, happy with how things are, and the team is well set. So 1 or 2 changes every week are not going to be uh, that much of a problem for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good score.
Yeah, and speaking of a good score, uh, you had an identical one as well.
Exactly same number of points, 62. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, I have some problems going forward with the goalkeeping department because Sanchez got a red card, so he got a -1. But as you said, like Trent and Cancelos have saved the game week with like 12 and 14 points each, and then I had Smith Rowe, uh, which helped me get those 62 points. So he got 8 points and Rafinha 9,
Mhm.
Salah 10, Son 3. I mean, rest of them blanked. And again, I benched Livramento. you know, I talked about it, I think, last before the last podcast while we were recording, that I might bring Livramento on the 11 starting 11, but then I decided to not do it. But yeah, he's just consistently giving 6 points every game weeks, and it's becoming a hassle to even bench him because you're missing out on like straightforward 6 points, or he's even giving like attacking returns in the last couple of games. So yeah, so as you said, like a strong bench is something which we are hoping for. We were hoping for, in fact. So some of us felt the effects of a strong bench this game week. So yeah, and then overall my overall rank increased from 680k to 465k, so that was like a good jump of 200, almost 200k in rank. So really happy about it. Yeah, and yeah, nothing more to discuss on that part.
Yeah, I think your team also looks good, and you can now go for those one or two changes that are really differential, or can give you a boost in the rank even further. Because I feel that,
Yeah, I mean, I need a game week which sets which in which I have a like couple of differentials who set me apart by like 20-30 points in that game week, to recover up on all the rank that I have lost. So
yeah,
hopefully it's coming soon.
yeah, because you have all the template players, so you
Yeah,
should not technically, theoretically lose too many points to
yeah,
these picks, and then the differential should propel you ahead. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, team looks well placed. Uh, so then we move on to the actual team comparisons between the 20 content creators. So taking a look at which players were in the starting 11 for all the 20 teams, and taking a look at which players stood out in terms of points. So the again for this week we had a winner who we have previously featured, and actually the actual winner of this game week with 75 points has been featured as a winner in multiple game weeks. So it's FF Scout and as has been, like, I don't
On
know.
fire.
Yeah, superb
His
on
overall
fire.
rank is 9,000.
Exactly.
So he's just like smashing it week in and week out.
Yeah, I think 5 game weeks ago he was 150 or 160k, and then
Yeah.
he in the last 5 game weeks I think he's won 3 of the game weeks, and
Mm.
in one of them we featured him, and in the other two we couldn't feature him because we have this policy of giving all of the content creators a chance to be the creator of the week.
Yeah.
So the creator of the week for this week goes to the runner-up, which was Tom from Who Got the Assist podcast, and he got 74 points, so just one less than as. And yeah, for Tom, the main thing was I think he has uh, three differential standouts that I can see. Vicente Goita in goal, so he's already has Gaita in goal, who seems like a good pick for the next few weeks because Crystal Palace have good fixtures,
Mm.
and he's already fetching clean sheet points because the Patrick Vieira's team is defending well, attacking well. So yeah, that's a good pick. Uh, he has Kai Havertz. I mean, he had Kai Havertz with 8 points. So that's a nice player to have. And finally, Havertz managed to score. After I'm sure Tom has had him for quite a long time, and finally that has reaped him some benefits. But I think Kai Havertz is at a price point like 8.2 million, which allows him to go to the other mid-size picks which are really good from this game
or
week
if
forward.
or if it allows him to get in one of the two Spurs assets if
Yeah,
he wants to make that change this game week.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that is a really interesting pick as well. And he has Christensen, which I think he probably has him because he's the cheapest Chelsea defender, and
Mm.
that's a route to clean sheet points. So yeah, that makes some sort of sense. But yeah, I think rotation, and it's fine to risk the rotation with him there
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, those were the interesting standout picks for Tom, which let him top the charts because, yeah, exactly. I mean, Havertz and the points from Goita uh, and Christensen are what set him apart. Obviously, he has
Yeah.
Cancelo and Trent as well. So yeah,
Right.
so that's just the creator of the week and their team. Coming to look at the teams from all the other content creators, what we do every week is that we create the spreadsheet, which is linked in the audio and video descriptions of our podcast. So this link is where you can take a look at the spreadsheet. You can browse around and scroll around the spreadsheet to look at it yourself. But as usual, I will explain what we have in the spreadsheet. We have the 20 content creators. And also the both of us are in there just because we want to compare ourselves with all of these great managers. And we have their game week points, their total points, their overall rank. We have their captaincy picks, and then we also have all the players that were in the starting 11 of these teams, but these players have been arranged in the order of the frequency. So for example, Salah, who is in all 20 teams, is the most frequent player, so he's number one in the the column name is number one. And then as we move to the right of the spreadsheet, we go to the more uh, differential picks, or the picks that are just picked by a few teams. And then we take a look at, we can scroll around and take a look at which are the players that were differential and they got good points for that game week, which set the top content creators for that game week apart from the others. And so you can scroll
Yeah.
around and take a look at what these players are, and it also gives you an idea of the player pool, which is a good sort of a set of players who you can target and go for, because this is sort of a hive mind of the 20 content creators. They've been playing really good FPL for years, and so they have a good understanding. They do their research, and so they give you, basically you're getting all of their strategies and all of their thinking in this one sort of one stop shop here. And you can basically use that to narrow down the players that you would like to have in your team. So you have like, what I think, some 620 players in FPL, but this narrows it down to like 20 or 30 or sometimes 40 players who you can play around with. So yeah, so that's why we feel this spreadsheet is useful. And then every week we take a look at the spreadsheet and come up with some key takeaways for that game week, which we felt were important points. So yeah, so let's take a look at the takeaways for game week 11, starting with your takeaways, Donatello.
Sure. So the first takeaway is a possible change in the goalkeeping department, with Guaita and Ramsdale, excuse me, Ramsdale being the top candidates. Uh, Again, you pointed it out. Crystal Palace have been doing really well under Vieira. Keeping clean sheets here in alternate matches, and overall, the vibe for that to that team is that they're doing great. And I looked at their features for the next 3 to 4 matches. They're not bad. So he's somewhat to be considered. If for example, now I don't have Sanchez anymore for this game week because he has the red card, and now I have to play Ben Foster, and I can't afford like to take a -4. Otherwise, I would have definitely gone for Guaita, or Ramsdale. Like, I know it's Liverpool next. That's 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 going to be a blip, but after Liverpool, the matches are again like decent fixtures for Arsenal. So and he's doing really well as well. So I feel like we might see a change in the template. We've already seen like I think Sanchez has been owned by almost like 10 or 11, if I'm not wrong. uh
Right
Nine,
now,
in fact,
nine. Yeah,
nine.
yeah.
So we've already seen it come down from 20 to 9. So I'm guessing it's going to switch to either Guaita or Ramsdale in the next couple of game weeks, depending on what the content creators decide to make the changes. So that's like one takeaway I feel I've seen from the spreadsheet. Second one is Reece James just keeps on delivering week in and week out. Again, he got that assist and bonus points in this in the game against Burnley. Unfortunate that they conceded in the 80th minute and the match was a draw. Otherwise, he would have you know been off with all three bonus points for the assist. So he's been delivering over the last 3 game weeks ever since he's been back from the injury, I guess. Yeah, and I think he's another player we might see in the template team going forward, because if he's going to start every single match, and I mean now to think of it, we have 10 matches for within the next month and a half, and Chelsea might uh, rotate the defenders. But again, this is what I feel: if a player is performing day in and day out, his place in the squad is pretty much sealed. So I'm guessing that Reece James will be a consistent starter for Chelsea, and we might see the content creators go for him and changing the template for as well. So that's another thing. Third is I'm just sick of talking about Tony and Mbumo, because I mean, they are the most overhyped players we have in our teams. From game week one, I have Ivan Tony in my team, and he hasn't delivered anything. So, I mean, it's 11 game weeks that we haven't had any returns from either of them. So it's just frustrating to, you know, they're just placeholders, and I'm benching Livramento for one of these guys. So it's frustrating. So I mean, we thought it was Norwich. They have a great chance. I think they even scored a goal. Like Tony scored and Mbumo assisted, or it's the other way around. But the goal was disallowed. I mean, that just sums it up for what's going on with both of them. So uh, 11 weeks, no returns from them. I'm guessing this is the last week for me to hold on to them. I might get rid of someone uh, going forward. So yeah, that's another thing. And the same topics of like disappointment. The forwards in general have been disappointing in this last game week. Ronaldo with 1 point. Who else? Kane, 2 points. Jimenez, 2 points. Uh, Antonio, Vardy, couple of points. So it's all the defense and the midfield who's carrying our teams with the total number of points. So there hasn't been a standout striker apart from Antonio, who did really well in the starting few fixtures, and has blanked ever since. So the forwards will continue. We need one great striker who is in form and keeps delivering week in and week out. That's unless we don't find one, we have to heavily rely on a good defense, or a budget midfield. So I think that's the way forward. I mean, I think 5-3-2 is a way for us to go, because if you have two Chelsea defenders, one City defender, one Livramento, and then I don't know, another defender to add in it, they're going to deliver day in and day out. So um,
Is
yeah,
that
so
a
that's
is that a subtle way of also saying that one should go for Spurs players because Antonio Conte prefers 5-3-2? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
no,
it's like.
I'm not going to. I'm not at all. Reliable. I don't think they are reliable as of now.
Mhm.
Because even if it's Conte, he hasn't gotten any chance with them. So they're
Yeah,
highly unreliable. So
yeah. We just have to
uh,
wait for a content creator to say it strongly, and then we will follow them. Till then, till then,
I
we
mean,
we do nothing.
yeah, I mean, everyone's jumping on the Kane bandwagon, but I'm like, wait and watch for the next couple of game weeks, because Albania and San Marino aren't really testing teams, to say that Kane is back in form. If he scores 6 goals in the next 2 matches against decent Premier League teams, then that's when I say, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to consider him. So
I see.
until that happens, nothing going forward for me. And then finally, differentials. Smith Rowe, Ben White, Ramsdale, three Arsenal players. Can you imagine three Arsenal players in the differentials? And then Kai Havertz. So these were the players who stood out in the differential section. So that's all from me.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't have a lot of takeaways except the ones that I spoke a
Yeah.
little bit before. For me, I normally just take a look at the range of points, and I'm trying to look at which are the players that stood out that led to the said range of points. So for
Yeah.
example, this week the range of points was between 44 and 75, and
Mm.
looking at the spreadsheet, it was João Cancelo who seemed to be the difference, because his 14 points is what takes for takes you from an average game week to a bad game week. So I think four out of the five bottom teams in for the content creators who we follow didn't have Cancelo, and
Mm.
so yeah, he I felt he was a major difference maker for that week, and he's already in 16 teams
Yeah.
out of the 20. So it seems like it's a no-brainer to go for the template. And so it's like coming back to the message I have been having for the last 2 weeks in these takeaways, is to follow the template team and then have these one or two differentials, which is how my structure is working out in my team, and it
Mm.
seems to be doing fine. And so I can go for those one or two uh, differential picks.
Yeah.
And and yeah, as you already pointed out very well, it's like the forwards are a problem. They're not scoring points, and it's not like I'm speaking of out of experience of just like one game week. I'm saying it from experience of multiple game weeks, that
Mm.
the forwards are really not giving you as many points per million
Yeah.
value. So yeah, I think it's for now we should probably look at taking out some value out of the forward lineup and putting it into midfield and defense. I'm not sure if I am able to do this this week. So for example, what I mean to say by this strategy is that if I were to make a change, I would rather downgrade Vardy to some other forward and then
Mm.
upgrade a midfielder to Son, for example, then rather
Right.
than
Yeah.
go for Vardy to Kane, because
Yeah.
I feel I want the strikers to start firing for me to start investing in them. Before till then, I feel I'm going to take out money from the forward line to the midfield and put it in midfield or defense. I don't think I am able to do this week because I don't have that much in the bank to make changes, or I'll have to take many hits.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel, let's see, given that the content creators for the next few weeks have suggestions that are around this idea, I will try and see if I can make those changes in my team. So yeah, so that's the strategic thing that I took away from this week's
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So then we move on to the Game Week 12 Creator of the Week, and as I already introduced, that it was Tom from the Who Got the Assist podcast, and you can follow him on Twitter at WGTA_FPL. Tom is currently ranked 345k in the world, and he has played for in 12 previous seasons, with his best rank being 2353 in 2015-16. So really nice finish there, and he has finished top 5k once, top 50k twice, and top 250k on four other occasions. So yeah, in 7 out of his 12 seasons, he's finished in really above 250,000 of a rank. And so yeah, he's been doing well. The first 4 seasons of his FPL career were probably not so great. I feel he was probably a sort of a casual manager back then, and then I think from 2013 onwards, he became even more serious about FPL, and ever since then, he's achieved all these great ranks that I've talked about. So yeah, so
Mm.
great. Yeah, it's a nice listen. Who Got the Assist is one of the oldest FPL podcasts around,
Yeah.
and yeah, they do some really interesting stuff. I think Tom also has an algorithm on which I think he decides his captaincy and stuff. So yeah, he does try quite a bit of stuff as well. So yeah, really interesting and good to have him as our creator of the week. And so
Yeah.
we gave the episode from Who Got the Assist a listen this week. And yeah, Donatello, why don't you summarize the picks that Tom suggested for this game week?
Sure. So this week's episode was completely based on manager changes and manager bounce in particular, and it was more focused on the four teams: Spurs, Villa, Norwich City, and Newcastle. So Tom, in length, discussed these teams and the effect the change in managers are going to have in these teams, and what players to look out from these teams. And also, he had a few suggestions in the Q&A sections, um, based on the questions that were asked by the fans regarding specific players, or a set of players, like budget midfielders. So starting with first, the obvious question: who do we take in from Spurs? And the answer is very obvious: it's Kane or Son. And if you can afford both, great. But um, uh, he Tom was, you know, more keen on Harry Kane over Son, which I found surprising. But I think he was more suggesting that if you can get Kane in, um, uh, over Son, I think the reasoning, one of the reasons behind this is, from his own point of view, he wants to make an eventual switch to Ronaldo once United's fixtures turn. Um, so getting 12, like having 12 point something in the bank already, um to make that switch would be preferable for him. So I think that's the reason why he suggested Kane over Son. So yeah, those are the two picks from Spurs. Preferred picks from each of the four squads, in or rather preferred picks based on the squads and the Q&A, are Callum Wilson. Tom wasn't very keen on suggesting him for this game week, but I think he suggested it, like, Wilson has had great scoring record under Eddie Howe in the past. So if the same manager bounce works in favor of Newcastle, he's definitely like a great player to have in your team. So uh, yeah, so if you want, if you have 7 or 7.5 million in the bank, and if you are looking for a decent striker with like a good fixtures, they have like 3 out of 4 fixtures which are really great for Newcastle if they decided to bounce back. Yeah, so Wilson is like one of the good picks in there. Same with Gallagher. He's Tom feels like he's is a as good as a punt. Again, he's the second highest scoring midfielder in FPL right now, and uh, Crystal Palace have been doing really well, and Gallagher is their top player right now. So again, if you go for him, it frees up cash, and you can afford some premium players in the future like Son, Kane, Ronaldo, once if these players come in form. So that's another thing. And then they discussed the Chelsea fullbacks or Chelsea defense in general. Um, so Tom's main suggestion was he prefers James over Chilwell, and I think he said that Rudiger is like the most safest pick out of the three because he's like a sure shot starter. So those are the three Chelsea suggestions, and then I think you picked up on Bernardo Silva as well. So why don't you speak more on that?
Yeah, I mean, so from the Man City assets, he was more keen on Bernardo Silva than Foden,
Mm,
for example, because I mean Bernardo Silva seems to have been consistently played by Pep,
mm,
and then he's also been scoring once every few matches. So he has 3 goals and 2 assists so far already. So and he's just 7.1 million. So Tom felt that Bernardo Silva presents good value as well, in the medium price bracket, and that allows you to,
Mm.
not spend so much, get that City mid pick, and City have good fixtures as well uh, from now on. So anyway, he felt that, out of the City midfielders, Bernardo Silva is a nice shout.
Right. And then finally, we are in the not preferred suggestions, or where it's the two teams, Villa and Norwich, who have had change in managers. So it's wait and watch for both the teams. As per Tom, his recommendation was give it a couple of matches or even like a stretch of matches for these managers to implement their own philosophies, and the teams to play and respond to the manager. And then as especially Villa has some really great players in it in the team. So if Villa immediately picks up in form, then there are some really great players to pick from them. So yeah, so same with Norwich, couple of really good players like Pukki and Cantwell, who if the form changes, you can consider going forward. And finally, it was Jota. I think he said statistically as well as um, you know from like a attacking returns point of view, he's the best out there, but he does not prefer him. I don't know why. You care to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, I mean, even I found it strange. It was like, because it's like, he did defend Jota in terms of stats. So he's like, yeah, Jota is sort of a no-brainer pick because his stats are really great. He's always in great scoring positions. But Tom does not prefer Jota because Jota has gives you these frustrating moments where he is in good goal scoring positions and doesn't end up scoring. So you're always frustrated by, Jota should have or almost could have scored, but he never does. And so he's
Yeah.
not been that great, even though, he's being hyped up a lot, and he does have uh, great XG and great, goal scoring, big chances or whatever, but he doesn't end up scoring massive points. So yeah, so Tom was like, yeah, it's a no brainer to have him, and he wouldn't mind having, I mean, he wouldn't mind people having Jota, but he's like, he wouldn't go there. So yeah, it was very interesting to hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, so uh,
Yeah, so then,
uh,
yeah, is that why? Yeah, then we can go to your team and you can explain what happened there.
yeah.
What,
Yeah,
such
so
a
I've decided
bad
to
sheep.
be a rogue sheep
Yeah.
and and go for Jota because I feel like it's Arsenal. They're going to smash them to bits as usual. And Jota's going to start because Firmino is injured, so he's going to be the third in the three pronged attack of Liverpool. So yeah, yeah, those are the two reasons why I just took Jota in the team. He
Yeah.
plays well against Arsenal, and then he's gonna be 100% starter. So plain simple logic for me. Yeah, I was going to go for Gallagher as well, but then th- Jota I feel might be a good differential to have in the team, so I went for
Mm-hmm.
him. No other changes. My formation is 4-4-2. Unfortunately, I have to start with Ben Foster in the goal because Sanchez is not participating in the match because of his red card. And then in my defense, I have Trent, Chilwell, Cancelo, and then I'm starting Livramento 100%. So that's my defense. Then in midfield, Jota, Rafinha, Salah captain, Son vice captain, and then forward with the fraudulent Ivan Tony and Raul Jimenez. Again, this is not a fully finalized team. I might play around with, like, I'm having second thoughts about Smith Rowe and Tony because the guy just keeps on disappointing me. So I might even switch him out for Laporte or Smith Rowe. I don't know. I might change it last moment, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my team for now.
All right, looks good. Yeah, the Jota one is really interesting. And anyway, Tom said that he's okay with people having him, and Jota has a good. He even went on to say that Jota has an amazing record against Arsenal. He has 7 goals in 4 matches, yet
He got
he didn't
15
want.
points last game against them. So I mean that was
Yeah, so
just
I
earlier
think
this
I
year.
think you sort of heard the part about Tom saying that yeah, people can have him, but he
Yeah.
would not is something you chose to ignore. So yeah, I guess it's fine.
Yeah,
You're
I
still
just
a
lost interest after the second part, so I
yeah,
decided
sure,
to just listen good things about Jota.
yeah. Well, I was a more
And you know who
obedient.
is to
Yeah.
blame for this? It's you, because you were the one who brought him up while I was almost about to make the change to Gallagher. So I blame you for it.
Yeah, because I was, before I heard the Who Got the Assist episode, I was sort of already eyeing up Jota as a good pick for any team. And then obviously when I heard the episode, I mean when I heard Tom speaking about Jota and he wasn't too keen on him, I was like, oh well, yes. So then, as a sheeple, I should also stay away from him. And then, therefore, I did the Gallagher move that you were actually intending to do. Yeah. So for me, I actually got rid of Mason Mount finally because yeah, ever since I got him, he ended up not playing. But it's fine. So he's finally gone, and I have Gallagher instead of him. I was thinking of going for Bernardo Silva, but I
Hmm,
didn't feel good right with me. So Gallagher is a good pick. He has good fixtures, and so is a good pick and allows me to free cash up. So as I said
definitely.
earlier in the episode, that I want to free up and at least take out the money in defense and put it into
Hmm,
midfield, and now I have enough in the bank to start making these good moves. Like I mean, for example, even if let's say Kane starts scoring goals and he's a obvious pick, I now have enough cash to change a Vardy to a Kane, for example. So
right.
that I have that flexibility. If not, I can switch Vardy down to whatever, seven
Hmm,
something striker, and then upgrade like an Embuemo or a Rafinha or yeah, one of them to a Son, let's say. So yeah, so it gives me that flexibility. That's why I went to from Mount down to Gallagher, freeing up some
right.
cash. And yeah, so Salah remains my captain, and I've made Gallagher my vice captain, just
I
because
mean,
I mean.
I'm not shocked about that part. I'm more shocked about you having Mbumo and Tony in your team and benching Rafinha and
Yeah,
Diaz.
yeah, yeah. So that's something I'm, still, I'm going to think about it. It's not final.
5-3-2, man. 5-3-2.
Yeah, yeah. I think a 5-3-2 is a good idea. So anyway, I'll just read out my team. I have Ramsdale in goal. I know he's playing against Liverpool, but he generally, I hope he gets a bunch of save points, and yeah, he gets a lot of bonus points because of his good distribution. So Arsenal play a lot of passes in the back, and so Ramsdale accumulates bonus point scores when he completes passes. So yeah, so he always will get
Hmm.
those points. So anyway, so he remains my goalkeeper. So Trent in defense, Chilwell, who I went for instead of James, based on I think as his suggestion a couple of weeks ago, but that's fine. Cancelo and Livramento. Obviously, I'm going to start Livramento. Then Salah, who's my captain, Gallagher and Embuemo, and up top I have Antonio, Tony, and Vardy. And on bench I have Rafinha, Diaz, and Brownhill and Foster as my goalkeeper.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, you present a really interesting question of why I am starting Tony and Embuemo and not Rafinha and Diaz. Both of them are these are 50-50 calls. It's just because it's against Newcastle that I feel Tony and Embuemo please should at least score some goals, but you never know with the new manager or whatever
Oh man,
what will happen.
I'm guessing all the content creators are losing patience with these two.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
they're at least going to lose one of these two this week.
yeah,
We'll see that next week. You know
yeah.
how the template will change with that. And yeah, so I mean, I can I can just bench one of them and bring in Rafinha or DS. But I'm going to give it a bit more thought. It's like,
Mm.
maybe I don't want both DS and Cancelo because, if Everton score, then DS is not going to give me any other points except appearance and clean sheet. Cancelo, on the other hand, can give attacking returns, so he's fine
Yeah.
to be in the team. So DS, I still am not so keen of starting him. Uh, and so maybe I'll think about uh, benching either one of Tony and Mbuemo and having Rafinha in my starting lineup. That's the dilemma I will have till Saturday. So yeah, anyway, so that's my team, and yeah, looks fine. Should be good. I'm
Yeah.
interested and excited to see how Gallagher plays, and what sort of a boost that gives him, because he seems to be the non-obvious pick, although he's one of the most popular transfers this week.
Yeah.
I hope he's not template. Let's see, we'll know only after the deadline. But
I
yeah, I
mean,
hope that
there are
helps.
chances that that content creators might take out Mbumo for Gallagher because same price range, plus or minus. I think it's plus 2 or plus 3.3 million.
Yeah, 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 it's
So
not a lot.
quite possible.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, let's see. I think there some people have also upgraded to like Son or Jota or Foden. So yeah, we'll
Hmm.
see how it goes. Anyway, so yeah, those are our teams based on Tom's suggestions. And finally, we come to the fixtures for game week 12 and our predictions. So we just quickly run through our predictions, and we'll just focus on the predictions where we differ in our opinions. So both of us have gone for a clean
I don't
sheet.
think
Chelsea,
we've differed anywhere this time.
we
It's
have we
hundred
have
percent.
Aston Villa
Oh,
Brighton. I feel it's a nil-nil draw, and you think it's going to
oh,
be 2-1 victory to Brighton. I feel it's going to be just a boring game. Both teams are going to be super
quite
defensively
possible.
steady. I
I
feel that.
just feel Brighton is a much better team this season than Aston Villa, and then
Yeah,
with the change in manager and the form and everything, I just feel like they have an edge over Villa. So, but you never know.
yeah, possibly. Then Newcastle and Brentford. You feel Newcastle will win this one? I feel it's going to be a one-all draw again. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
another difference.
I mean, again, it's the manager boost that I'm thinking about. So it can be completely opposite as well. Like Brighton can just come in and thrash them. So,
Yeah.
uh, let's see.
Yeah, apart from that, we have no differences in our
Yeah,
predictions. We
we have Liverpool versus Arsenal, the big game for this game week,
Yeah.
and I'm being realistic. It's going to be Liverpool win. There's no way Arsenal. I mean, at most, I'm thinking we can hold them to a draw, like a really scrappy draw. But there's no way Arsenal can win this one. So
Hmm.
it's going to be a Liverpool thrashing. What I feel.
Yeah, I feel Arsenal's defense is good, so I don't think they'll leak 4 goals. So I think, but they'll definitely at least a couple of goals.
Yeah.
But let's see, anything is possible.
Mm.
So that's our predictions for game week 12. And yeah, so thanks a lot for listening, and uh, we wish you all very good luck for this game week. And yeah, we'll see you now next week, and now we'll keep seeing you very regularly till Christmas. I mean, till the new year, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just for don't forget to follow us on Twitter at FPL Sheeple. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please spread the word if you like our content. Please spread the word among your friends and fellow FPL players. And yeah, we are always looking for more and more people to give us a listen. And yeah, do leave a comment if you feel we can improve in any way. We are really open to suggestions, and we do incorporate suggestions from our listeners as well quite regularly. So yeah, feel free
Mm.
to leave a comment.
Mm.
So yeah, good luck everyone, and I hope you have
Good
a
luck.
good game week. And yeah, it's Goodbye for me.